what we did in previous class. First we did what was the condition of Indian economy. So Indian economy was basically totally dependent on agriculture before the advent of British rule, right? And we engage. It was also engaged in handicraft industries, and Indian industries like handicraft industry enjoyed worldwide famousness because of two things. First, the quality they were using, and second, the high standard of craftsmanship. Okay. Now, what Britishers did? Britishers introduced so many economic policies, right? So but before the motive behind introducing the economic policies was that they want to protect and promote their home country. Instead of focusing on development of Indian economy, what they were doing, they were protecting and promoting their home country, right? And how it impacted the Indian economy? So impacted first, it shifted India fundamental structure. Now India became importer of finished good and exporter of raw material, right? Second, the colonial government never, made sincere attempt to estimate India's national income. And at that moment, we can say real GDP was 2% and per capita real GDP was less than 0.2%, 0.5% per year. So this was the impact. Okay, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now basically there were few, you can say economists who were basically, who researched on India economy and all that. So what was the per capita and everything. So these are the economists. Okay. So there are like Dadabhai Narje, William Digby, Figmi Cyrus, V.K. R.V. Roy, R.C. Desai. These were the basically the economists who see there are lots of people, but these were the economists who saw real GDP and all that, and after that they came to know that okay, this is the structure, right? But other person, for me, I'm a normal person. I don't know what's the country rate, what's nothing, right? You and I, we all are not aware of that. But there were few economists who did this, and it was V.K. Rao who estimated during the colonial period was considered very significant. The estimation from V.K.R.V. Rao, whatever estimated he made, that this is the GDP or per capita income of India, that was really important, and that played an important role in judging the things. Okay, so basically these were the basic the economics. Okay, just a minute. Solutions. Okay. Okay. So basically we have few questions over here, right, which we'll be discussing, and in that questions only you are going to write it. Okay. So first was, what was the sole purpose of British colonial rule in India? So can anyone tell me what was the sole purpose? You can use your notes. Sole purpose means what was the main motive of British colonial rule in India?
They want to take the things from India and import in their own country,
Yes,
and then
very
say that it's theirs.
Yeah. So basically, their main motive was that they want to protect and promote their country, and they wanted to take raw material from India, and they want to export finished good to India. Okay. Okay. Now, next thing is, why is understanding of Indian economy before independence is necessary? Why there is a need to understand what India was before independence?
Because it is part of Indian history that we should be knowing.
Yeah, very good. Because we should know the history, only then we can compare it, right? Because roots are basically from that period. Okay. Next is, what was the main source of livelihood for most of the people in British colonial rule? Very simple.
Handicraft.
Source of livelihood.
Agriculture.
Yes, livelihood basically where I'm dependent on, from where I'm getting. Okay. And name the notable economists. So notable economists are basically these. Okay.
Yes.
So I'll just let you people know the solutions as well. Just a minute. Okay. So basically, the sole purpose of British colonial rule in India was to reduce the country to being a of supplier of raw material and consumer of the finished good. Okay. Second, an understanding of Indian economy before independence is necessary to know and appreciate the level of economic development achieved during the post-independence period. So, if you want to compare it, if you want to compare it and you want to appreciate it, for example, Sanya got 9 marks in previous test and 10 in today's test. But in case if I didn't, for example, 8 in previous test and 9 in today's test. Okay, so in case I didn't know the past of Sanya, then I cannot appreciate her. Maybe I'll be saying, why didn't you get 10 on 10? But when I get to know that earlier she got 8, but now she got 9, then I'll appreciate her. That okay, it's a good thing. Earlier you got 8, now you got 9. Okay, but in case if I didn't know the history, then what I'll do, why you didn't score 10 on 10? I'll be asking like that. Okay, so an understanding of Indian economy before independence is necessary to know and appreciate the level of economic development achieved during the post-independence period. Okay, and what was the main source of livelihood? Agriculture was the main source of livelihood. And talking about economists, Dadabhai Naroje, William Digby, Finland, Shiraz, V.K. R.V. Roy, R.C. Desai, these are the economists. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. So you are going to write this one, like just give it a hashtag and write notable economist who estimated India's per capita income during colonial period. Okay. Notable economist who estimated India's per capita income during colonial period, and write this: Dadabhai Naroje, William Digby, Findlay Shiraz, V.K. R.V. Roy, and R.C. Desai. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Okay. Both of you done?
Done. Yes.
Okay. So do you want to write it down like this one? Why is an understanding of Indian economy before independence is necessary? This question?
Okay.
Yes, no, maybe.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So write it down because this is something very new, right? These two questions you already know the answer. But this one is why, just write it down. Why understanding of Indian economy before independence is necessary? Write the question and then I'll show you the answer.
Done, ma'am.
The second one, you can write it down.
Done.
Okay, both of you done? Girls, done? Both of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Halima,
Done.
done? Okay. Done or not?
Done.
Okay. Sometimes it's like, yes, ma'am, and sometimes it's like, I even get confused, right? Okay. So now basically we'll just discuss about one textile industries which was established in Bengal. Okay. So basically in Bengal, there was a cotton textile industry, right? The answer is muslin. Okay, muslin, muslin. Okay, so sometimes in exam they ask you what is muslin. Okay, so what is muslin? Muslin is a type of cotton textile which had its origin in Bengal. So basically this muslin, it's a type of cotton textile only. Okay, like the cotton plants and all that it is, but it is of fine quality, that's why the name is muslin. Okay, and basically its origin is in Bengal, like started from Bengal, particularly places in and around Dhaka. Okay, now the capital of Bangladesh. Okay, now basically the what is muslin? It's the finest variety. The finest variety of muslin was called malmal. Okay, you say na malmal ka kurta and all that, malmal ki sari. Sometimes foreign traveler also used to refer it as Malmal Shahi or Marmar Khas, implying that it was worn by the royalty. If you are wearing a Muslim clothes, that means you are very rich. Okay, so this was the mentality of that period. So what you are going to write over there, like about this, you are going to put hashtag Muslim. Okay, so first point you'll write Muslin is a type of cotton textile which had its origin in Bengal, particularly places in and around Dhaka. Okay, now the capital of Bangladesh. Okay, Dhaka is now the capital of Bangladesh. Okay, and then Muslin and Jakai Muslin had gained worldwide fame as an exclusive type of cotton textile. Okay, you're not going to write all this. I'm just telling you again what you're going to write. First, you're going to write muslin, and then muslin is a type of cotton textile which had its origin in Bengal, particularly placed in and around Dhaka. Okay, just write it down till Dhaka. Okay, and after that, second point, muslin is the finest variety of muslin was called malmal. Second point. Third, sometimes foreign travel also used to refer it as malmal shahi and malmal khas, implying that it was worn by or fit for the royalty. So the people who are very royal, belongs to very rich people, rich families and all that, they used to wear this. Clear all the points?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Done.
Done.
Okay. Okay. Now, agriculture sector under the British colonial rule. Okay, what over here we did economic development. What was the economic development? Now we'll talk about agriculture sector. Okay, so India's economy under British colonial remained fundamentally agrarian. So India's economy was basically an agrarian economy. Okay, about 85% of the country population lived mostly in village and derived livelihood directly or indirectly from agriculture. So out of 100, 85% of people was, under, like, they were totally dependent on agriculture sector for their livelihood. Okay, so what was agriculture sector under the British colonial rule? So first is Indian economy under British colonial rule remained fundamentally agrarian. 85% of the country population were directly or indirectly dependent on agriculture. Okay,
Yes.
clear? Okay, uh okay, just write it down. Agriculture hashtag agriculture sector under British colonial rule. And then you will say, right, Indian's economy under British colonial rule remained fundamentally agrarian. About 85% of the country population directly or indirectly were dependent on agriculture. Okay.
Done, ma'am.
Done.
Okay, good. Now, see, what was agriculture sector? You already know 85% of the population was directly or indirectly dependent on agriculture, right? But the condition, low agriculture productivity under British colonial rules. The productivity, for example, I am producing crops, okay? The productivity was very, very low, okay? So low agriculture productivity under British colonial rule. So under British colonial rule, though in absolute terms, agriculture sector experienced some growth due to expansion of aggregated area under cultivation, the productivity became low. The agriculture sector continued to experience stagnation and deterioration despite the fact that the largest section of India's population depended on its subsistence. So basically, what was the condition of India under this? That agriculture sector remained stagnant. Stagnant is basically you are not growing, right? Or if you are growing, it's like 1 or 2%. So that is negligible, right? So what was happening? The agriculture sector continued to experience stagnation and deterioration. Deterioration is basically earlier you were here, now you are coming down. So stagnation is you are not growing, or if you are growing, it's like something negligible. And deterioration is the quality is getting degraded day by day. Okay, in spite of the fact that the largest section of India's population depended on the subsistence. See, Britishers knew that 85% of the population was directly or indirectly dependent on agriculture. Instead of all this, they never focused on or they never helped in growth of the agriculture sector. Because of that, agriculture sector continued to experience stagnation and deterioration despite of the fact that the largest sector of Indian population dependent on its subsistence. Okay, so now first we have written this like the agriculture sector under British colonial rule. You wrote this that Indian economy and this and this. Then you will write the agriculture sector. Okay, just don't write all this and just write low agriculture productivity under British. There was low agriculture productivity under British colonial rule. Okay, that's it. There was low. Second point would be first. This was the point, and second point will be low agriculture. There was low agriculture productivity under British colonial rule. The agriculture sector continued to experience stagnation and deterioration. Okay, getting it? What you have to write?
Yes.
Yes. Done.
Sana done.
Done, ma'am.
Now, see, you already, the condition you already know, the production level was 0 and there was stagnation. Okay. So what was the reason for the stagnation and all that? Okay. So cause of India's agriculture stagnation and low productivity. Okay. So this is going to be your next heading. First, zamindari system of revenue settlement. Okay. So what happened? Britishers came and they introduced the zamindari system. Okay. So what is, ma'am, what is this zamindari system? So the stagnation in agriculture sector was caused mainly because of various system of land settlement or revenue settlement that were introduced by the colonial period, particularly the zamindari system, which was implemented in Bengal Presidency, comprising part of India's present-day eastern states. Okay. Now, basically, see, there were a lot many reasons, but one of the most important, or you can say most highly rated reason was this zamindari system, right? what was the zamindari system? Why this zamindari system led to low productivity in agriculture sector? So what happened basically? The profit occurring out of agriculture sector went to zamindar instead of the cultivator. So now this is a story. Okay, zamindari system is basically zameen is land. Okay, you people know zameen is land. Okay, zamindari means whatever you are doing in this land, you have to pay me tax or you have to pay me the rent. So I am the zamindar. Okay, zamindar. You know, zameen is land and zamindar is basically you have to pay everything to me. I am the zamindar. Okay, so what happened? For example, this is a farmer. He is producing crops over here. Okay, and after that he sold out. He got 100 rupees. So the benefit, whatever money he was getting, instead of the one who is doing hard work, instead see, if farmer is producing everything, he should get the benefit, right? What was happening? The profit was directly going to zamindars. Okay, so apart, like instead of farmers getting the benefit, zamindars was getting the benefit. For example, you people are working hard, right? For example, you are working hard, you are learning day and night, but I am giving marks to somebody else and I'm giving 0 marks to you. Will you work from next time? No, na. So this was the situation that people were so frustrated that whatever hard work they were doing, but profit was going to zamindars. Okay, so that's why most of the people started leaving the agriculture sector because they were unable to tolerate it, right? So that's why earlier, if 5 people were working, there was 500 kg of grains, but now 2 people left the agriculture sector, so there will be 300 kg of grains like this, right? So okay, so basically this was the thing, right? So basically people were leaving, that's why the productivity level was coming down and down day by day. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Next one is, see, the profit occurring out of agriculture sector went to zamindar instead of the cultivator. Cultivators are basically the farmers. However, nothing was done to improve the condition of the agriculture. For example, you people are working hard, I am getting the money. Okay. So what I will do, the money I am getting, I'll be, what I can do two things. Either I'll be using that entire money for myself, or I will be at least improving your condition, right? But zamindars were taking all the money, but they were doing nothing for the improvement of condition of agriculture. So because of this reason, people started leaving the agriculture sector. First point clear?
Yes.
Okay, both? Okay. Second, the main interest of zamindar was only to collect rent regardless of the economic condition of the cultivator. This caused immense misery and social tension among the cultivators. Now what happened? For example, see, everyone is not in the same condition, right? Everyone's economic condition is different, right? Maybe someone is rich, someone is poor. But for example, if there are 4 lands over here, so the main role of zamindar was to collect the tax. They used to come and they used to collect the tax. Okay. For example, I am very poor, right? So at least I am unable to give you 100 rupees. I'll be asking you that, sir or ma'am, I want to reduce the fees or something like that, right? So, but the zamindar, what they were doing, their main interest was to collect revenue. No matter what, whether you are rich, whether you are poor, you have to pay tax, you have to pay tax. So because of this, misery means people used to like, they had lots of tension that, okay, zamindars will be coming and now we have to pay the tax. Misery means they are becoming poor and poor day by day, right? So second problem was that the main interest was of zamindar was only to collect rent regardless of the economic condition. They never thought about the economic condition of the farmer, that okay, this farmer is very poor, so let's just take less rent. Okay, but no, they came, they used to take tax, and because of that there was some misery and social tension among the cultivators. So what they did, they see, what if I'm working hard and even after working hard I have to pay all the tax, so what I'll say, I'm not continuing with this agriculture sector, I'll find some other work, right? So because of this reason also few people left agriculture sector. Clear second point, girls?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, last point. To a very large extent, the term of revenue settlement was responsible for zamindar adopting such attitude. Example, dates of depositions, specified sums of revenue was fixed, failing which the zamindar will lost their rights. Now, basically, what happened basically, the attitude of zamindar. Okay. So their attitude was basically, for example, you people are working, right? I came to you as a zamindar and I told you that before 10 of every month, you have to pay me tax. Otherwise, I'll be taking your land. Okay. So why zamindar were doing all this? Because Britishers hired them that you have to collect the tax. Okay. And if in case they failed out to do so, they'll lose their position, right? So is there anyone who wants to lose his or her position? No. So that's why they adopted this attitude that okay, before 10 you have to pay tax, otherwise I'll do this, I'll do that. The strictness they have to. Why? Because if they will not do so, they will lose their rights, right? They'll lose their powers. Okay. So, to a very large extent, the terms of revenue settlement were also responsible for zamindar adopting such an attitude. So, basically, the terms which zamindar were adopting, like dates of depositing the revenue, fixed depositing, failing with, because if zamindar used to fail in this, they were to lose their rights. Okay, so because of this, what they do, zamindar adopted an attitude of collecting tax through this attitude that they used to fix a depositing sum, that okay, you have to pay me 4,000 every month. Okay, plus they used to fix the date that before 10 of every month you have to pay me. So, and if britisher used to, like if zamindar for example, he went to collect tax and that person didn't gave tax, so britishers will be for, like manipulating or punishing zamindars, that why didn't you collect the tax, and they will fire them, and not fire in the sense not throwing them in fire. Fire means they'll remove them from their position. Okay, clear?
Yes.
So what you are going
Yes.
to write? You are going to write first causes of agriculture, causes of India's agriculture stagnation and low productivity. So first is zamindari system of revenue settlement. Okay, just write it down and then I'll tell you.
Done.
Okay. So first you'll write zamindari system of revenue settlement. Then you'll write the stagnation in agriculture sector was caused mainly because of various systems of land settlement and revenue settlement. Okay. Especially the zamindari system. Okay. Revenue settlement that were introduced by colonial government. Till here you can write. And then you'll write especially the zamindari system. Okay. Especially the zamindari system. And after that, this, and this. Okay, so what you're going to write, the stagnation in the agriculture sector was caused mainly because of various system of land settlement and revenue settlement. See, zamindari system is a part of land settlement and revenue settlement. Land settlement is how they are going to handle the land. Revenue is how they are going to collect the tax. So the zamindari system is a part of land settlement and revenue settlement that were introduced by colonial government, especially the, or you can say particularly the zamindari system. And then the profit occurring this and this profit which was occurred by agriculture sector was going directly to zamindars, and nothing was done to improve the condition of agriculture. Second, the main interest of zamindar was only to collect the rent regardless of the economic condition of the cultivator. This caused misery and social tension among the cultivators, and to a very large extent the term of the revenue settlement were also responsible for the zamindar adopting such an attitude. Why zamindar was adopting such attitude? Because dates of depositing and all that, because if they won't be doing so, like failing which the zamindar will lose. If they'll fail to do this thing, then they'll lose their powers. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Don't know.
Both of you done?
Done.
Okay. Now, basically, the third one was the second. First problem was zamindari system, right? Because of zamindari system, there was low productivity. Second, the problem was lack of irrigation facility. Now, what is irrigation, ma'am? For example, this is a farm. Okay. So, if you want to see, if you want to grow crops, you need water. So, irrigation is basically supplying of water. If there is no water, you cannot grow any crop, right? So, lack of irrigation facilities and low level of technology. So, what was there? Basically, most of the people, like most, you can say 80% of the people were dependent on monsoon, like the rain and the river water. And river water is totally dependent on rain, right? Once rain will be there, monsoon will be there. Of course, rivers, there will be flow of water in rivers as well, right? So, but in case if there is no rain, what you will do? Then there will be a crop failure, right? So that's why there was lack of irrigation facilities. Right now, in today's time, there are lots of man-made things which you can, how you can irrigate your land, right? But at that moment there was no technology, no low level of technology, plus there was no irrigation facilities being given to farmers. So low level of technology, lack of irrigation facilities, and negligible use of fertilizer. See, if you want to make your soil fertile, you have to use fertilizer, right? So negligible use of fertilizer were responsible for the plight of farmers. For the plight means bad condition, or you can say poor condition. Okay, plight means poor condition of farmer, and contributed to dismal level of agricultural productivity. And contributed dismal means low level of agriculture productivity. Okay, and through there was some evidence of relatively high yield crops crop in, but the school, just a minute. There was some evidence of high yield cash crop in certain areas of the country due to commercialization of agriculture, but this could hardly help farmer in improving their economic condition, as instead of producing food crops, now they were producing cash crops. So there was commercialization, right? What is commercialization, ma'am? When you produce something for getting money, right? So that is known as commercialization, right? Commerce is basically taking or intaking, right? So when you do produce things for getting money, so that is known as commercialization. So what happened? First, see, just first write this point, and just I'll explain you 2 points, right? So lack of, second point is lack of irrigation facilities and low level of technology. So you'll write low level of technology, lack of irrigation facilities, and negligible use of fertilizer were responsible for the poor condition of farmers and contributed to low level of agriculture productivity. Clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, write it down, then I'll explain you the second one.
Done, ma'am.
Done.
Now, second point. Okay. First point, you all know that because of this in this facility, there was low agriculture product, right? Now, what Britishers do, right? Now, Britishers ask Indians to produce. There are two types of crops. Okay, one is food crop, right? Which you are going to use. Like for example, you are growing wheat and all that, and other one is cash crop. Okay, so cash crop is basically from which you will get money. Okay, so now second point you will write Britishers forced Indians to produce, like instead of producing food crops, now Britishers forced Indians to produce cash crop, which were ultimately used by British industrial back home. Now what Indians were doing, Indians were producing cash crops. Now Britishers were taking crops from here, and there they used to sell it, right? So what was happening, basically these cash crops were used by British industries. The industries which were in Britain, like the Britain industry, they were using these cash crops. Okay, so you will write what you will write. Instead of producing food crops, now Britishers forced Indians to produce cash crop. You have to add it over here. Okay, because you are making notes, so you have to add it a little bit. So you'll write second point. Instead of producing food crops, Britishers forced Indians to produce cash crops, which were to be ultimately used by British industries back home. So which these crops were basically used by British industries back home there itself. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Ma'am, from the beginning should be right?
yeah, this is the first point, you wrote it down, right? This,
Yes, ma'am.
like for second point, the first point is this, and the second point is going to start from here instead of. Okay,
Okay.
or if you want to write it like that, that Britishers forced Indians to produce cash crop instead of food crops. You can write it down. Okay, it's your choice. You are going to make your notes. You are going to learn it, so it's your choice.
Done.
Done.
Okay, good. Now the third point is, first was lack of first was zamindari system. Second, lack of irrigation and irrigation facilities and low level of technology. Third is lack of resources. Okay, technology is different thing, resource is different thing. Okay, so technology is, for example, for irrigating, I don't have any technology, right? But resource is basically the material which you are going to use it. Okay, so Indians agriculture starved. Starved means basically starving. It was in need, but nobody was supplying it. Okay, so India's agriculture was starved of investment, right? We wanted investment. See, right now you are in very poor condition. You want money from somebody else, right? So India's agriculture was starved. Starved means starving. You know the word starving. When you are hungry, that means you are starving, right? You need food, right? So India's agriculture was starved of investment in terracing, food flood control, drainage, desalination of soil. Okay. So what was happening? Basically, there were different sector where India need investment. First, terracing. Now, ma'am, what is terracing? So what happens? In hilly areas, there is no plain area, right? So in hilly area, you do agriculture like this. Okay, like first layer, second layer. This is terrace farm, right? So Indian agriculture want investment in, or you can say wanted investment. If you don't want to write like this was stuff, you can write Indian agriculture wanted investment in terracing. Second, flood control. Like most of the time there was so much rainfall that because of that flood was there, but there was nothing, no arrangement done to control flood. So second, flood control. Third, drainage. Drainage where from where water goes away, right? Desalinization. What is salinization, ma'am? Basically the water which we get from rivers. It's like it's not a pure water. It's mixed with salt. So that is salty water. So when you are going to use that water for irrigating or anything, then it will make your soil saline. That water is salty, so that will make the soil saline. So we want to desalinate it. Desalinate means convert it into normal soil, right? So desalinization. So in this and this field, investment was needed. Terracing, flood control, drainage, desalinization. Okay. While a small section of farmers change their cropping pattern from food crops to commercial crops are basically the cash crops. Cash means money, commercial means also means money. Okay, and large section of teen and small farmers and shareholders neither had resource and technology nor has incentive to invest in agriculture. Now what happened? Basically, five people were working in agriculture sector, right? Two of them were rich, right? So what Britishers told them that you can switch to commercial crop instead of cash crop, instead of food crops, produce commercial crop. So these two people shifted, but these two people were poor. So what they did, they neither had resource, right? They neither had resource that they'll be doing agriculture. They neither had nor had technology. So if they don't have technology, they cannot produce anything, right? Nor they have any money to invest in agriculture sector. So what they did, they left out the agriculture sector, right? Clear?
Yes.
So lack of resources because of so what happened? Indian agriculture wanted investment in terracing, flood control, drainage, desalinization of soil. Why? Because these, for example, there is lots of flood. What will happen? Your crop will washed away, right? There will be a loss. No drainage facilities also it will affect. Desalinization, if your soil is not good, how will you produce? So Indian agriculture needed investment in terracing, flood control, drainage, desalinization of soil, right? And now coming to the section, while small section of farmers changed their cropping pattern from food crops to commercial. So there were few people who shifted from food crops to commercial crop, or you can write cash crop. And large section, right, out of 100, 20 people shifted, but remaining 70 or 80%, 80% people and the small farmer share crops, they neither had resource and technology nor had incentive to invest in agriculture, so they left out the agriculture sector. Clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So these are the 3 points you'll be mentioning over it. Okay, light it up.
Done, ma'am.
Done.
Okay. Halima done?
Yes, done.
Oh. So yes. So girls, what you are going to do is they are going to recall everything. Okay. And in the next class, we'll start with industrial sector. Like we'll do few questions before that. Like these are the questions related to agriculture sector. We'll be doing that. Like we'll be discussing it, and then we'll move to the like industrial sector. Okay. Clear?
Clear.
Yeah. Okay then. Bye bye. Take care. Good night.
Bye, ma'am.
Pardon, Halima.